chuffing myself now. Found an old microwave transformer, sliced the bottom of it off, and took out the secondary winding, which is the high voltage winding. So I just left what I'd call coarse winding, you know, it's quite thick wire in there. Bashed that to the back, welded an eye bolt on top of it, and it's strong enough I can just connect a little radio control car battery, and I can lift up my trolley jack with it. So that's got me 30 or 40 kilos for the trolley jack. So the idea is, obviously went out magnet fishing the other night, quite liked it. So if we can get this, get 10-15 metres of 2-core or something, put it on the magnet with a bit of rope, you know, take the two together, and we can hang it off the bridge, turn it on, see what we get, and pull it up. And then if it gets stuck, we can obviously turn it off and pull it up. Charlie's got stuck on something the other night, and we had a right old game trying to get that off. Ended up tying it to the tow bar and driving. So yeah, well, that's what we've built today, and I'll show you that in a minute. Show you what I did. So what are we up to today? I've just broken the bottom of the cores off this auto transformer, taken the shields off and stuff. And quite lucky with these, I've got a microwave oven transformer. Where did I put that? Anyway, I did have one, but you have to grind the welds off of those to separate the cores. So all I've done on this, I've smacked the cores off of it that were here, because they're just clamped up with this. This is like a split-in transformer, so 230 and you get 162 off of it. So my idea being, if we take these two windings, we've got the full length of the coils, and maybe feed it 24 volts, because at the moment it's 6 amps at 12 volts, so if we feed it 24 we'll get 12 amps roughly, and then hopefully along the bottom of here we'll get a bit of, you know, magnetic flux going on. So I'm just going to rig it up to a car battery and then I'll flick back and show you what's going on. Right, sod the car battery for a minute. I just want to show you it with 7 volts, a little stick pack from a radio control car. Yeah. He wants to lift the lid off the barbecue. So here's the microwave transformer. These are generally 230 volts to about 2000. So, for instance, say there's 200 windings in this side, there'll be 2000 odd windings in this side. So the idea being, if you can see they've welded that up there to get the cores together. Grind that weld out, pop the bottom off like I did that other one, and then you can either get rid of that winding or just leave them be, but you'll only be using this one. Put 12-ish volts, 24 if you want, across there, and basically you get a bigger version of that other electromagnet I showed you, know, across these 3 poles if you like. That'll grip onto stuff. So what I might do, grind that off, pop the base plate off, weld a nut on here, screw an eye bolt on that, and cover it in insulating tape, because if you bugger up these windings that won't work. So you do want to sort of cover those, protect them. But yeah. Now I've just spotted just up in there, between that top winding, that looks like a thermistor, like a thermal fuse. So we shouldn't have to worry about that because it's going to be underwater, so it shouldn't be getting hot. But if it does give us any trouble, we can just bridge these 2 contacts on there. Be lovely. So the idea being is that we can probably pump a bit more current through this because it's obviously water cooled. 12 volts isn't really going to permeate through the water, you know, so it's not going to short out through the water. So the power will still be going to this. It'll be water cooled. You'll probably be able to pump around 20 amps or something through it, as long as the cable going up to the bridge is thick enough. So it might run 2 bits of like you know, 13 amp flex up to the bridge, and then we can flick it on, grab something, and if it gets stuck then we can just disconnect it. So probably run this off the Anderson plug on the truck, or if we go for 24 volts I'll run it off the 2 batteries that I got spare. So back on the microwave transformer, I've just drilled out these spot welds. I'm going to give it a little clout from the back, pop that off, and as you can see this microwave oven transformer is sideways as such. Usually it's like on the bottom, and you can just grind these welds off, pop the end off and be done with it, but we're going to have to get this off and then grind those welds out. Bam! So that's off. Should we give it a try just like it is? Let's do it. You can see there's some pull there, but it ain't very strong. And it's stronger on this side, obviously. So once we grind that off, we'll have like the 2 prongs like a proper magnet. That should be a lot stronger. So as you can see, I ground that one out, and it's just popped open. So yeah, do the same the other side and just knock it off. And what I'll probably do is run a little bead along here, because that'll just stop them kind of fraying, if you know what I mean, keep them together. So just run a quick pass along there, dunk it in water so it don't melt none of this shit. Yeah, so once you ground that out, tap it off nice and gentle like, don't go wallop in these windings, because if you break the insulation between them they'll short out and basically not as effective. So what I might do is bust this winding out, bust the whole high voltage winding out, and then put this further back down, because if we do pick anything up with this, it's going to obviously hit these terminals and break them. So I'm going to go do that now. Right, I don't know how well you can see in there, but I've ground through the secondary winding through to the shunt, and just going to pull that off there. That's still a bit warm. Ooh. Get rid of that, chisel this lot out, and then hopefully pop that primary winding back up to the top. Okie dokie. Get rid of that, push that further up. Right, so that's the winding out. I'll show you putting it back in a minute, but I just want to show you something else. I'm just going to solder these 2 wires together. Well, actually, we can just crocodile clip between them, but I want to show you this will actually generate a magnetic field. It's just that once you put a ferrous body near it, it makes it, you know, stronger. Kind of magnifies the effect. Plug it in. Do you see that? So I'll hang this 3/8 extension. You kind of get like a, but it's always in the coil, if you know what I mean. You don't get much outside, you get a little bit of a repellent if anything. So basically what's happening is the current's going around those wires and the magnetic field like that. So if you wrap all the wires the same way, you've got a strong, you know, magnetic focus. And then if you put it near something like this, you see how strong that is compared to what we had before. Okay, so again, barely anything. Pop that on there. That itself is not magnetic, you know, well it is, but not very strong. And you put that on there, she's golden. So that's what it's all about, basically. Kind of using that as like a magnetic lens. So there you go, look, it's a bit battered, but you got your core. The secondary windings were tight as hell, not to mention all like glued in with micro insulation, so yeah, they were tight. Obviously that took a bit of a battering, but so we smack that in there. I won't do it just yet, I'm going to weld this first I reckon, now I've got it out. sort that out because some of those laminations are peeling away. Yeah, should be good. What I might do, if it comes to it, I might get another microwave oven transformer because I've got a couple in the workshop that I've been saving since I was a teenager. Don't ask why. But if I can put 2 primary windings in one core, that'll be about twice as strong then, and we'll wire them up in parallel. Be cushy. So I've just done some tests. I just poked it in there with a bit of wood, tapped it down, and on basically what is 8 volts, I put it on the side of my trailer and I can't pull it off, not without disconnecting the electric. So I can't figure out the amps at the moment because my internal fuse in this is blown, but on the bench top that drains 6 amps at 14 volts. So if you say that, okay, about half that is draining 3 amps and I can't pull it off, if we put 12 volts through this should be bloody strong, and if we link 2 12 volts up and get 24, that's 12 amps roughly, all, you know, ballpark. So this should be bloody strong, and if we try and put 2 lots of windings on it, basically what we can do 2 things really. We can run 2 lots of windings in parallel, which will double the amp draw, so we can get twice the amount of amps through it without increasing the voltage, or we can wire them in series and use a higher voltage and get the same amount of amps. So what we're going to do is wire them in parallel, and to get 12 amps instead of 6, instead of using 24 volts, we'll just use 2 coils, because obviously it's all done on resistance. So the more resistance you put on there, the less current can flow. Obviously less resistance, the more current it will draw, and it has to dissipate that as heat. So twice the amount of windings but wired in parallel, halves effectively the resistance, twice the amount of amperage going through it. Plenty of space in there for a second winding. Yeah, put that on there.